Also, you will notice that my wedding ring is on a chain around my neck because I have sausage fingers.
Aww.
Sausage fingers.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Be
Okay.
fashion forward and like wear it on your toe. Ring.
I don't think that.
They're going to try it now.
Honey.
What?
Does it work? Does it work?
On
Does it work?
camera.
Are you recording?
Yes, we're live, guys!
Oh.
The camera is
My
live.
toes are also too
You're
swollen.
welcome, viewers.
Mics are hot. I guess.
We can
I
edit
can't
this.
say that. No, I'm leaving this in because fuck you.
Welcome, listeners. I
You
don't
really
know how
want
it's
people
being
being all ooh about your wife's swollen pregnant feet?
Hey, you might have a what's
Hmm.
what's that thing with the celebrity feet website?
Nope.
The righteous beat.
We're just gonna completely change topics now.
You've got a date
Absolutely.
Oh, nice, babe. Just entire grundle. Oh yeah, Leah's pregnant. That hasn't
Crazy.
happened on the show yet.
Oh shit, you're right. So if this
Oh,
gets
shit.
posted, shit.
If this gets posted, that's the first. Yeah, we're having a baby.
Yay!
Yay!
We all stage clapping. Clap for applause.
For the
Sign.
thing
Hold
you'll
for
already
applause.
known for like
Hold
a
for
month
applause, there
or
we
two. God, what else has happened? Let's just go around the table. What else has happened? We moved to Louisiana. We own a house now. That's where I am. I have a new job that gives me more hours to actually spend on this, which is nice. That's kind of it for me.
I moved into my own place. That is a new thing for me.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
One step towards independence.
Woohoo! Oh, I also had to get a new car because of an accident, but
Oh
new
jeez,
car.
I didn't know about that.
So fun story. Like close to the end of school, I got in a car accident, and then basically my whole entire back, like left side, was crushed in. It wasn't my fault, which is why I'm so mad about it. It was like another dude who had hit a car, and that car hit me, and I was like, this is terrible. Anyway, I'm gonna just like gloss over the rest of it. I had to get a new car. And it's a new used car, but it's a good car. It's a hybrid, and I love it very much.
Yay.
Carry cam. There's a carry cam.
Carry cam.
Carrie has always been in cam. Side star.
She's so content. Yeah, Troy, what's up?
Nothing really has happened in my life.
You made Twitch affiliate?
Yeah, I
That-
thought that happened for you.
No, that happened like before. That happened beginning of quarantine. Like
But did we announce it? Did we say anything about it?
Really
I
not,
didn't
'cause
really
did not
advertise
remember.
it.
You should. Anyway,
Troy's a Twitch
stream-
affiliate. You should subscribe. Use your Prime, your Amazon Prime subscription for Sim Phoenix. Do it, bitch. No, you're not a bitch. If you subscribe.
If you don't.
Because I don't have you your microphone on.
I love that you're both in the same room too. This is such a fun game.
Yeah, I didn't want to be laying down because we're doing face cam.
Yeah.
What did you drop?
I dropped my train whistle.
Aw.
What a tragedy.
I got it. I'm sorry, Troy. You were trying to do something.
So, for those listening at home,
How you doing, everybody, and welcome to Dicey Decisions, where
Bye, Troy.
So, today we are going to be playing a game called The Quiet Year. It's a game designed and written by Avery Alder. It is a game about a community living after the collapse of civilization, attempting to build something good within their quiet year. Every decision and action is set against a backdrop of dwindling time and rising concern. And it's a combination of a role-playing game and it describes itself as part role-playing game, part cartographic poetry.
Nice.
And you can get this game at buriedwithoutceremony.com/thequietyear.
I don't have to do the Dicey Spotlight. This is great. You're doing it for me.
This is the tale of a land ravaged by needless death. Shola stretches throughout the eastern coastline of the continent, largely made up of plains, forests, and mountains, along with foothills. Shola is not alone on this side of the land, however, for beneath the waves, the people of the Kyril dynasty thrive in coral cities and build wondrous magical inventions. There had always been something of a territory battle between the people of the land and the people of the sea. However, they briefly united against an overwhelming force. A powerful lich spread its terrible undead armies into Shola, leveling cities and raising the dead to only bolster their ranks. The truce between Kyril and the people of the land, now calling themselves the Commonwealth of Shola, had one final push against the Lich's forces, and it failed. Left with a fraction of their people, one mage from the Commonwealth stood up and crossed over towards the Lich's commanders and surrendered himself and his squadron in exchange for the safety of what remained of the Commonwealth and the dynasty. They were spared, but in exchange, he would have to spend his eternity harvesting the souls of Shola in order to feed this army. The people who survived this last battle sheltered from a terrible storm that was wrought thanks to an influx of magic, and now must try to rebuild, though none wish to necessarily go back home. Are they making a new home, or simply a place to survive?
Holy shit. That was amazing! Oh shit! So how do we play?
Okay.
Hi, we're about to explain how to play The Quiet Year. If you already know how to play, you can go ahead and skip ahead to the 18-minute mark. Okay, bye.
So let me get my document up that I should have definitely had open beforehand. Were you waving for something, Lee?
No, I was getting the camera to do the thing with the light behind me.
Gotcha.
I was going, ooh, look at me. Mm.
Basically, each of us is going to take a turn at a time, as games tend to be. And each turn is going to represent a week in this year. This is the year following the traitors' abandonment of the Commonwealth and the Kyril dynasties' forces in order to empower this Lich's army. Basically,
So maximum, this is 52 weeks.
Yes. And because you said it in that exact way, we will play each of these weeks, and essentially the way that we're going to be playing this is I'm going to have a randomizer up that is going to give us a random card from a standard 52 card deck of playing cards. I said cards so many times in that sentence.
Say it a few more times just to be safe.
Cards, card games on motorcycles.
Sorry, I didn't do push to talk so you could hear me laughing, but just pretend I laugh.
So we'll start in spring, obviously, where we're going to be establishing a lot about the community's inner workings and the surrounding landscape. When we get into summer, larger threats and greater progresses are going to both emerge. Autumn will give us more serious dangers and losses, and then winter will continue our work and preparations. But winter can end at any time. Because at any point in winter, if we draw the King of Spades, that is the end of the game. That means that the Frost Shepherds arrive.
Is that a big bad?
That is the fun thing is that in the text of the game, the Frost Shepherds are meant to be entirely elusive. That there are no direct answers as to what they are. Only after the game is over can we really establish that sort of thing.
Uh-huh.
It's just another vague event, world event, basically.
Yes, a thing that makes this quiet year that has been going on no longer quiet.
It's just a massive orgy.
Let's see. Some other things to note. On each turn, I will draw a card and tell you what it is, and then there is a guide of what those cards mean. Whenever it makes sense, you can add new drawings and symbols to the map in order to reflect what has been changed. And then after you have done that, there are 3 actions that you can take. You can discover something new. You basically find something on the map that is a little too, a new issue, or some examples would be there's a dried up well at the edge of town. Mangy wolves have been slinking around the woods at night. You can hold a discussion, which basically lets each of us make a statement about a situation that is brought up that doesn't actually solve anything. Communities can never come to a clean and simple conclusion. That's just how discussions in communities work. So if nothing else, it will help us to understand where the world is coming, where this community is coming from in regards to a particular issue.
Cool.
The last of the 3
I dig
actions
it.
that you could take is starting a project. This is a thing that lets you establish a situation and declare what the community will do to resolve it. There's no agreeing or disagreeing on it. You can, if you don't like the project or the discussion
Michael,
or
stop.
the situation that has been discovered, you can take a point of contempt. This has no mechanical use, except it tells us that this decision, this thing that is happening in the community, might have some people that are not fond of it for whatever reason. And that just gives us a narrative idea of hey, this is a thing that might bring some arguments. There are also going to be resources, where at the start of the game, we're going to have 1 resource in abundance, and at least that many in scarcity. These are literal resources, we have an abundance of clean drinking water, but we have a scarcity of food. That's something that, you could start a project in order to solve, or you discover some new creature or something like that that can be established as a source of food.
So we have an abundance of paper towels. And
Scarcity of enough clean towels, actual towels.
So, when we play the Quiet Year, we're not going to be controlling specific characters. Nobody is a character in this game. Nobody is playing out scenes in this game.
But Mike's always a character.
But
I mean, yes.
aha, fuck you.
I already
instead-
did. Shit lips.
Not with the shit lips thing, please. I fucked your mom, shit lips.
Come on, shit lips.
So, we're instead going to act as abstract social forces within the community. At any point, we might be representing a single person or a great many. So it's not going to be like we're playing Jeff from up the street in this society. We are going to be playing as the. It's always Jeff.
My name is Jeff.
I hear
Alright.
your moose call, Tiffany, and I return it. You make boy moose go wah.
Okay, so the way that we're now going to proceed is everybody sees this very nice map that Mike made for us.
Mm-hmm.
We're all now going to take a turn to place some sort of landmark on the map.
Is that the world spine? This is on the other side of Beconval.
It is not the world spine.
Haven't established that yet, but perhaps.
It could be, but it's also just a mountain range at the moment.
It's also definitely, even if it was Beconville, not the world spine.
There's some space between. We are on the. Me and Mike discussed this. We are like on the other side of the continent entirely, like far away from even the world spine.
Allegedly, or we're on the other side of the continent.
Who's going first?
So
I'm
I will
sorry.
actually. You are very punchy today.
I don't get a lot of human interaction. I don't have the vaccine because I'm gestating a human, so I don't go anywhere. Just a lot of isolation. And
That's
I miss
okay.
my friends.
That's why we're doing this.
So who is drawing the coffee
Interacting.
mug?
Oh, it's me. I'm sorry. I'll undo it in a second.
Oh, but it's
So-
cute.
You're going to introduce a detail about the local terrain. So this might be a river or a structure of some kind, and it can be anywhere on this entire map. We are not quite establishing where this city is, where this settlement is. That is still entirely up to. That might be one of the first things we have to decide. But
So that's
So
based
this
off of
is
the
some-
card we draw.
no, it's just something that we haven't established. But it's something that can crop up when we start deciding, okay, are we going to build ourselves houses? Are we going to build ourselves a school first? And that will kind of build around that. Now, keep in mind that we are going to be using this whole map through this entire game, so we might have to make all of our drawing tools a little bit smaller to match.
Lee.
Yes.
So, Mike, would you like to go first?
I'm gonna wait for this masterpiece to be finished first.
Done.
Okay. So I like to imagine that there's like a inland lake, like a not like a large lake with kind of like tributary marshland leading to this one whatchamacallit, kind of gulf over here. So maybe I'll do something like, oh fuck, shit, balls, ass. Maybe something like this.
Thanks, Tiff.
Welcome.
Maybe something
We can
like
count on you.
that, and then I can fill it with fuck. Fuck, I
There's
can't believe
there's
you've
a
done
bucket
this.
tool.
Ah.
Fuck. Oh,
Jesus!
Oh, God.
Oh no!
I'm sorry.
Oh no!
It's okay.
Okay, something like that. And then giving it eyes.
Sorry, it just looks like a T-Rex to me.
Okay. So I think that's all you need to put at the moment, Mike.
Okay.
Because everything like these sketches should only take like a 30 seconds or so to do. We're
All
not
right.
looking for big elaborate things.
Okay. There's a lake.
Frog Lake.
Like,
That's like 100 miles across too. It's a big
That
lake.
is
ooh, that's a big lake.
Large lake.
like Lake Pontchartrain. Not quite that big, but
Actually, it's about 50 miles across at its widest.
Okay, that's not bad still. Lee, would you like to go next?
yes, I would. So we have a lake. Ooh. I would like to add a little forest. I think it's gonna be kind of like spurting from. That's too big.
Spurting.
Do you have a problem with my language choices, Michael?
Mickle.
No, not at
Mickle.
all. Please say spurting one more time.
Michael. I bet you'd like me to. Sorry. I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
Why? No, I'm not. Where are my color? Why isn't it giving me the color?
Oh, you
What
made
did
it
I
a
do?
clipping layer, so you have to unclip it.
How?
See where the button that beside the lock? Press that. Like a downward arrow.
The button beside this?
Yeah.
Yay!
There it is.
Oh, I did it.
Oh, and now it's
Okay.
gone.
Did you erase it?
Clipped it again.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then, okay. All right. I got somewhere. So we're just gonna do happy little trees, happy little trees,
Little tree.
happy little trees. That one sucked. Oh well. Happy little trees.
Honey, if I could help, if you'd zoom out, you'd see that you're making very tiny forests.
I know.
Just
Okay.
a wee forest. A wee bit of trees.
Just do me.
Looks like the T-Rex is just farting.
Okay,
You
I'll
see
make
this
my
as,
mouse
like,
a little
a
bigger. I just didn't want it to be
T-Rex
too
or just the
big.
T-Rex head? Because I was gonna say this is like the T-Rex's dandruff.
See, I see it as a frog.
The frog in this. I'm trying
It
to
kind
see
of
the
looks
frog.
like sort of like a dinosaur going, oh.
Yeah. Like
Okay, so we've got a forest to the west of this very large lake. What kind of forest are we talking? Is this like
Okay, I see. It would probably be pretty wet, wouldn't it?
it's
This would be
I
wet
don't
rather
know.
northern.
forest.
So kind of cold and dense. I'm just gonna continue adding little dots. And then you're gonna tell me there's a tool where I could just like add a bunch of dots.
Oh, probably not.
That's
yeah,
okay.
there actually isn't.
We do
so
some
you're
dots.
good. But I think that's enough
Okay, cool.
forest to give us the
Can I-
idea.
Yeah, can I illustrate how it looks like a frog?
Go for it.
Okay, so this is the eye. And this is his little face. And there's his little nose. And there's his little mouth. And see that this is his back. His back is here. That's a little
Oh,
happy
it's a
leg here.
sideways frog. Okay, I
He's
see
a
it now.
frog.
Tiff, what would you like to add to the landscape?
So I've already added it, and I'm okay with erasing it. But the narrative that I'm trying to put out is that it's this giant, slumped, statuesque figure that is at least 50 miles high. And it looks like the vague look of a man slumped overthinking, right at the edge of the land and ocean. So I'm imagining that like he's sitting on like one of those like like the statuesque figure is sitting on like one of those cliffs that drop down into the water. So it just looks like a combination of rocks and statue that resemble a man thinking.
So it's like
Okay.
a. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. And no one knows how it got
That's
there,
really,
or why
really
it's
neat.
there, or why it looks like a man thinking, but that does exist, and it's very, very large. It's basically like
And I do like his little hat.
cute. I was trying to go for like a little beanie.
It's just me.
Yeah, this is Mike sitting there peeing.
Okay. So now I get to add a thing to the map.
Excellent.
And I think I am going to add a section of land. Probably about we'll call it about here-ish. Let me get a good color for this. We'll go with this. And this is basically going to be blasted land. This is just whatever was here was wiped clean by the Lich's armies. Just dead lands, nothing will grow. The land's been essentially salted.
That's fun.
Ooh.
God, I just made a fucking lake.
And it's a
I
good
just made
lake.
trees.
And actually, it's probably not even that large, given that it's, I have to remember our scale here.
It can be that large.
I don't think it quite is. I think it's actually going to be a little bit longer than it is. Do I get... I'm trying to figure out rotating.
That is the move tool. There's like this weird diagonal arrow symbol when you have the
Okay.
move tool selected.
Okay, this will be fine. It's kind of known as... No, it's not known as. We don't name things here. Not in this particular section.
Okay. No names.
If we don't name them by the end of it, then we can have names in mind. That's... And we can also play a little bit fast and loose with some of the rules. If something feels right that you guys want to do that is a little bit away from the ruling of the game, then that's fine. Ultimately, we are playing this game to have fun. Okay, so now that we've all added we've all added something to the map. Now the game begins in earnest. We will start.
Did I delete my trees?
It looks like you did.
If you
I
hit
didn't
Control
mean
Z,
to.
it should bring them back.
Oh,
Or Command Z in your case.
Yay.
I also I put a little square here by accident. I don't know how to get rid of that.
I should just
gotcha.
stay there. Like, we can work with that.
Yeah, sure, fuck it.
Okay, so because we kind of established this order, this is what we're gonna go with. Mike, you're up first.
All right. Everyone, before we begin, at the top of the layer list, right above the trash can, there's a new layer thing. Everyone click that so that we don't lose any of this progress.
A good plan.
I just made a manta ray real quick, but now I'm gonna go be good.
Okay, cool. All right. So, Mike, are you ready for me to draw your card?
I'm ready.
Let's see. So, your first card is the 2 of Hearts.
Okay.
And I will read you this description, and you have, again, usually an A or a B option.
All right.
There's a large body of water on the map. Where is it? what does it look like? Or there's a giant man-made structure on the map. Where is it? Why is it abandoned?
Well, we got both. Damn it.
No, we don't.
Okay.
We don't have
So,
a.
yeah. I think
Does the statue not count as a man-made structure?
We don't know what
It's
the
already
source of the
there.
statue is.
it's already there.
It's
This is
always
like
been there.
establishing lore.
I'll
In the
always be
north,
there.
in the north, there is a really, really old, like, it can't really be considered a fort because it doesn't really have any, I don't know, like strategic value.
Tactical
it's so f-
advantage?
Yeah, it's like but it's just so far north, and there's just a make a little castle up here. It's just this
So what-
strange old structure.
Why is it abandoned?
It was the original homestead of the trader.
Ooh. Wow.
Ooh.
And as we established in the build-up in the opening monologue, this trader is a well-known figure, and given the proximity, this year has started about a month after the Lich King's armies marched through. Like, you have had very little time to do much of anything. So
I like it.
everybody knows who this trader is. Some of y'all probably broke bread with him less than a month ago.
Fucking
Ooh.
Kyle. What a prick.
Oh,
God damn it, Kyle.
Kyle.
Oh my
It's
God.
always
Right
So
there.
this was the home
it's always
of the
like
trader.
a Kyle or a Jeff.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I dig that. So there are no projects in play at the moment because we just started.
Yep.
And now you can take an action, Mike. You can either discover something new, hold a discussion, or start a project.
I would like to discover.
Oh, we didn't figure out our resources, what was in abundance and what was in scarcity.
Do we have to decide where the settlement is right now, or?
No.
Okay.
We should figure. I think that would influence by what is abundant and what is scarce.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, I'm not laying down because I'm bored. I'm laying down because my back
fine.
hurts.
You're fine.
I can attempt to balance the computer. Just gotta avoid the belly.
Alright, so
Yeet this forward.
in abundance is probably... We probably don't have an abundance of drinking water, necessarily.
You want to make drinking water a scarcity?
Yeah, I think so. So that way we, like...
Sure.
Maybe there's a lot of people having to boil water in order to, like, either boil the salt water from the ocean to the east, or somehow filter the marshland water to the west, depending on where we end up.
Can I offer, in light of that, there is an abundance of powered crystals everywhere.
Crystals, you say?
Yeah, just crystals that seem charged. No one really knows what to do with that, but there is like a power behind it, and there is just so much of it everywhere, but no one knows what to do with it so far.
Okay,
Could be
I
like
dig
the
that.
after
That's
effects of
very
like
interesting.
yeah, like this could be like some after effects of the Lich War, but regardless, there's too much of it and too simple folk around to really know what to do with it.
I love that.
I love that.
Okay, so we've got an
Come up with such good ideas.
abundance of charged crystals and a scarcity of drinking water at the moment.
Okay.
All right. So Mike, you have the option of discovering something new, holding a discussion, or starting a project.
Okay. I would like to discover moving water.
Hmm.
Um uh can it be like two of the same thing? Because I'm looking at this frog lake and I'm
I'm
seeing
gonna write it down.
on the right of it, the eastern side of it, it has the top nubbin and the bottom nubbin, and I just from what I know about topography, that would mean that if it flows towards the ocean, rivers would come from those points.
Yeah, I will say that if you'd like to add two lakes, you can, if they're added as sort of a companion to each other. Like they have to be pretty fully related in some way.
Okay. Then in that case, they form a small marshland between themselves and flow north to that bay. So this is one. This is the other. Kind of just form kind of a oh shit, fuck balls, ass tits.
Oh, and thank you for writing that up there on our map, Tiff, because I'm taking note of it on a notepad over here, so
I didn't want to forget personally, so I did want to write it down.
that's fair. Okay, so there is a long river that stretches southwest to northeast through a good chunk of I said the name of the place, Shola.
Hola.
Yes, and I have a bunch of text about stuff that I can type out to y'all later, like names of things so you know what they look like spelled.
Cool.
And it's also
Yeah,
a lot
especially
of lore that is...
considering a few of our characters.
Yeah, actually, I was just going to say, there's some bonus lore that we've come up with for pretty much all of y'all.
Not so much for Junie.
I know that.
We'll find something for Junie.
Okay, that looks kind of cool, actually.
It does.
It's really cool. I like
So
it.
there's
That looks
moving water.
awesome.
That river could split off as well, but that is like maybe that river is the major source of water now. It's moving, it's clean.
Okay. Do you guys think that we should bring drinking water out of scarcity then?
Well, unless the settlement is right next to it, it would still take some time.
I think I think everybody is still a little bit trying to figure out where they're going to set up, so there is space to where it might still be scarce because it might be a trek just to get to the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Lee, your card is the Queen of Hearts.
Ooh.
So your options are, what's the most beautiful thing in this area? Or, what's the most hideous thing in this area?
So I want the most beautiful thing to be it's also dangerous. It is a sandstorm with lots of shifting colors. And it could be in the same area where we find all of these crystals. I don't know if this is what's charging the crystals, but it would be this beautiful, like, sandstorm that's constantly moving throughout a desert area.
You're saying desert, but would it be more grand if it was like in a cavern sort of thing? So it's like the sand, like the shifting crystals make it seem like prismatic up the canyons. but it is just a
That would be
shifting
cool.
storm.
That would be cool.
You said like in a cavern, like underground, or like through like a canyon-esque topography.
Let Lee describe more of this because it is their turn.
Oh no, I'm totally okay to collaborate. It would be cool if somewhere in these mountains, there was like a canyon, and that was where there was like this storm moving through.
You can add more mountains.
Oh, yeah, why not you add more mountains and like just make it multicolored and we'll know that's where your sandstorm is located.
This prismatic canyon.
Ooh, the prismatic canyon. No.
Oh, that's so cool. It's dangerous and beautiful.
I like
love
it.
So cool.
It's like the spell
I want
color
some
spray
more of
happening,
it.
but all the time.
Yeah, so I would think somewhere along the river, somewhere that would be defensible. I would think probably. Is there a ping tool?
Nope, you'll have
No,
to
you can
draw
just
a little house.
do a little boop.
You could, yeah, or you could like put a little shape on it, like a shape, and we'll establish it as like this is where fort of
Yeah, it's a little fort.
Beaver is. I don't know.
Okay, so that's where the first structures are going to be built. Now, because this is part of, the project, we can't just say a settlement springs up. What is the first thing you're going to try to build? What is the first thing this community is going to try to build, I should say?
I feel like it would be like a meeting area that they could use for housing of the time being, just a big communal area that'll one day be like a, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the right word.
Like a town hall sort of situation?
Yeah, like a town hall. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I dig that. How long do you think it's going to take them to set up this town hall, like, barracks sort of situation?
Probably, if everyone's working on it, take a couple of weeks.
Okay, so we'll say
Wouldn't
2
even be
weeks
that
for
long,
that.
really.
Let's see. Alright, it does bring to mind what sort of building materials are being used, but we can establish that once the project is done.
Sure.
Okay. So, Tiff, it is now your turn.
Hmm.
So, we gotta draw your card first and foremost.
Mhm.
So, you have gotten. Now, I've got to keep track of which cards we've drawn because this randomizer does not keep track of it.
Oh, that's rough.
So we've gotten 2 in the Queen so far. So you have drawn the 8 of Hearts.
8 of Hearts. What does that mean?
So an old piece of machinery is discovered, broken but perhaps repairable. What is it? What would it be useful for? Or an old piece of machinery is discovered, cursed and dangerous. How does a community destroy it?
I'm gonna say useful.
You can't dangle a curse. I was about to say, you can't dangle a curse in
I
front
can
of
put
us.
other curses on things. No, I want this machinery to be like an old looking pill bug, sort of like locomotive. It can like crawl on land. And they want to use it as like it's the main transporter. Whatever it needs to transport. Maybe crystals. I'm very
Is
into
it
this
an
crystal.
ohm?
Or maybe wood.
Or
to
wood
build,
or water. Who knows? Yeah, it's a giant pill bug the size of a small city.
Oh, damn.
That's enormous. Jesus.
Thinking big. So it's gonna
So
be.
it's
I'm going
it's an
to
ohm
make
from
it.
Valley
I
of the
think we're gonna
Wind.
have some intrigue over here by the lich.
Yeah.
The lich place. So I'm gonna make the pill bug over here.
Okay,
I'm gonna make the
so
pill bug purple.
this pill bug was discovered by the Blasted Lands.
Bug machine. Yes.
It's an ohm.
Hillbug, the size of a city. Holy shit.
Shit, man.
It's cute.
Can you give it like a little observation deck, like a single antenna?
Remember, this is the size of a small city. So like its eyes are roughly like 3 blocks wide.
Jiminy Christmas! It's a machine!
Can I do discover something new? And I want the new thing to be land off the coast, kind of that appears when the tides are at its lowest during the month,
Ooh.
but disappears completely when the tides are at its highest.
Idle Island. Isn't there one of those off the coast in North Carolina?
I think so. I don't know.
There's
I'm just like,
probably
ooh, wouldn't that be
several.
cool?
Oh no, it's not an island. There is a place that you can only access by land when the tides are low. When the tides are high, you can only get there by boat.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna
Yes.
put it right here.
I, think
I
we
like
have
that
plans
a
to go
lot,
camping
actually.
there, actually. Wait. I love it.
There we go. That's going to be our island.
That's neat.
Shows up.
I do like that a lot, actually, and that's playing into some ideas that I have to a different tune. Let me just say that.
Ooh, okay. I'm glad
We're
that
writing
we're
his
on the
campaign
same
for him.
page.
No!
How dare we help him build a world that's going to be interesting to us?
Boo.
That you had a hand in developing. Think about it that way.
Boo.
So, there is a legend about the trader's home. The legend is that he still lives there. Though it is questionable whether you can use the verb live.
Ooh.
Because it is known that he gave himself up to the Lich and was granted some form of power. So there is some sort of very apparent malaise around the trader's home.
Yes,
Is malaise an instrument?
No, malaise is not an instrument.
There you go. There's some malaise around the trader's home.
Spooky, I love it.
You know, in Inuyasha, they'd call that a miasma.
Well, this isn't your
Yes.
fucking furry show, babe. That echo was terrible.
It's soft furry. It's a gateway furry drug.
The barracks have finished. Now, when a project finishes, no matter whose turn it currently is, the person who started that project gets to explain kind of the finishing up process.
Cool.
So, tell us a little bit about what these barracks look like now.
It's not going to be too complicated of a building since it only took about 2 weeks to make. Basically, they've made it a place that's going to be good to shelter against the elements. So they would have taken the time to kind of like seal the beams and everything. It would be made out of wood mostly, just for speed. I think that some tables also would have been made. or benches, things that could be used as a gathering space, or things that could be used like moved around easily. That way they could have councils or arrange them for food or things like that.
Okay. I dig it. And now I have the option of starting a project, discovering something, or starting a discussion. And I am going to start a project
Oh, okay.
Is it Gunpla?
to... What?
I asked if it was a Gunpla.
Listen, I don't have any right now. I'm jonesing. No, actually, it is going to be specifically a project to research these crystals. These crystals are clearly charged with something, and there are people who are skilled in magic that come from the Kirill dynasty, from beneath the waves. So there are some people who might be able to put their brains together and figure out what's going on with these crystals.
Fish people.
They prefer Tritons, thank you.
You are a
So-
fish people.
We are going
I want
to
to be a
now
ball.
put those crystals onto the map, so that way we can. Let's see.
Well, they're all over the land, aren't they?
Yeah, but there's probably a high concentration in this prismatic canyon.
Most
Yes.
likely.
In
So
the
we're
pretty
going to
place.
do.
A crystal.
Crystal.
And I'm going to say that this one is going to take a little bit, given that it's weird crystal shit, and everybody's a little hesitant
Freaked
to
out
do
by
much with.
magic at this point?
Yes. Like, not all magic, but the presence of necromancy so close, everybody's a little spooked at the moment by the idea of spellcasters, so they probably don't get a whole lot of support in this.
Not all magic.
How long did you say?
Hashtag not all magic. What'd you say, Mike?
How long did you say it would potentially take?
I think it's gonna take 5 weeks.
Yeah. Seconded.
Are there any children in the community? If there are, what is their role in the community? Or, how old are the eldest members of the community? What unique needs do they have?
There's definitely children. They unfortunately have been forced to grow up a little faster than many of the people from the Commonwealth, a rather conservative nation, would prefer. So they kind of do a lot of the cleaning, maybe a little bit of gathering firewood in
Like the back and forth busy
Yeah.
work. Bringing
the
wood
low
back
skill,
and forth, bringing water back and forth.
Yeah, the low skill labor. That doesn't really put them in in any danger. But definitely that sort of thing.
Now, how many
Very
children
physical,
were
menial
here?
work.
Well, this is a small settlement, like a good, we're talking maybe 100 people at best, right?
Yes.
I would say a good 20 or so of that is children.
Okay.
That's a lot of kids.
They're survivors of war. It's going to be
Kids
mostly women and children.
Parents. That makes sense.
That's true.
All right.
God, that's really sad. Oh my god. I
Yeah.
really feel for this community. Okay. I'm going to pose a question. I would like to hear ye.
Yes.
discussion must be had, answering the question of should we continue to build more permanent structures from the nearby forest in our little town, or should we begin developing farmland along the banks of the river?
So, Lee,
You
you now
first.
get to weigh in.
You first.
I porque no los dos? Why don't we do a little bit of both? Work on establish some farming of easy crops that are going to be able to get us through the winter, but also focus on a few more structures. That way there can be some like food stores and things like that.
Okay.
I'm
Tiff.
going to be the voice of the elders who feel very jaded since war, and they don't like the idea of building permanent structures. We have to keep moving because if we settle in one place, we're a sitting ducks for whatever the lich is coming back. We have to prepare for that. We have to prepare for the worst because it's already happened.
Fuck.
Okay.
God, you're so scary when you're actually able to talk.
She's reading.
So, there is no point in trying to prepare for something that we don't know when it will come. We were told it will come, but not when. We need to try to make things better. And Mike, you can finish this out with a statement.
If we divide our attention amongst too many important tasks, they're likely to be done potentially wrong or fail. We should choose what is our major priority, shelter or food.
Okay. So that's the end of that discussion. There's no more talking about that particular thing.
That was so cool. I loved that.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was fun.
One of the big rules about the quiet year is restraint. We cannot elaborate too much on stuff.
Okay.
There will be a time for that once we are done.
I think that right now we are storing our food in the communal area, which is not good because it's hard to, with so many people going in and out and this being the only like main place, it makes it vulnerable for shortages, like people taking more than they should. It makes it vulnerable for like if disease spreads or if, we're not taking care of it, that's everything, it's gone. So yeah, right now all of our food is being stored in the like communal living space in the town hall.
Okay. Do we want to add a scarcity of food because of that?
I think so, yes.
Can I open it up to the group?
I want to say yes.
I feel
because
like we
the
would.
idea is that we're saving for when it gets cold. We're
I'd
going
like
to try to.
I'd like to posit that we don't have a scarcity of food, but we will not have an abundance until we have a long-term storage.
Okay.
Like,
yeah,
right
where it
now,
can
this
be
is like
in the
monitored.
butt.
Yeah, this is like a Band-Aid solution. We're gathering enough, but like this is not sustainable.
Not when we don't have a place where we can be doing like canning and salting and, long-term preparation.
Yes.
Sorry, do you know what this is giving me really big vibes about?
Hmm.
I don't know if you remember the computer game Virtual Villagers. Where like it's just like this. You have your villagers, you've got a certain amount of them, and they're like survivors from like a shipwreck, and you got to go around and explore like your little island, and you've got your food store, and you got to build your houses and make babies, and like it's very similar to this, like in the like turn by turn, event by event sort of basis.
Hmm.
I like it.
I've never heard of it.
It was popular. It came out a while back. I played it in like the early 2000s. I think that I'm going to want to discover something new because we've been doing discussions and stuff.
Totally up to you. We can have this be as imbalanced as you'd like.
Okay, then I'm gonna make the decision to start making buildings, a building that is going to be reserved for preserving and storing food for the winter.
Okay.
And I will represent that with... something small.
We getting like a silo going on here.
I was just gonna make a jar of jam, but that's a better idea.
No, I like the jar of jam, actually. Go for it. Absolutely.
I was just gonna do...
I absolutely love
change
this.
the color. I can't write jam on it, can I?
Nope, words
No,
are
there's only
not
2
allowed.
pixels,
No, so
babe.
it's just,
And how long do you think it's going to take to make this food prep facility?
not too long. I mean, you just need to set up like smoking and canning and like a silo. I would again say like 2 weeks.
Okay.
Last us through the winter?
Does that seem too short? No, not to store the actual food, but to make the place to
okay.
store the food. Because we don't have like a farm yet, so... But this is to speed along the storage, and this is the place to speed along
gonna
the
take a
storage
point
and
of
production of
contention.
food. That way
Okay.
we...
There are definitely some the people who probably opened the first discussion about, you know, which should we do, who argued for farming. Definitely were just like, we're building a place to store food we don't even have.
Okay. That's fine.
Lee's like big frown.
What?
Lipstick in my
We're-
Valentino white bag.
I'm not gonna try to like establish families. That's too much brain power for me. I'm going to say that the most
Land grab family.
land grabbers.
Family.
No, I'm going to say that the most like prolific people are the farmers, like the ones who can... What's the word I'm looking for? Consistently make abundance of like crops and things. I want to say either farmers or foragers, like just relating to plant life. That's like a very distinct... Can I say that they're like 2 groups of people who are very distinct, and so they kind of like go their 2 ways?
It says what group, so pick one to focus on.
Dang it. I'm gonna go with foragers. I think that's more fun.
Okay, so there's a distinct group of foragers who are always the ones who seem to have the best luck finding berries and edible plants and even small game.
Yeah.
That's
What?
the Hufflepuffs. They're particularly good finders.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
What must people do to gain inclusion in this group?
They have to bring back something that was not found before. It's a very like high stakes to be a part of, but you are just treated with the utmost respect. It's like newcomers have to like go farther from home to bring back something of like superb value. Like let's say like a new species of tea leaves.
Okay. So there are people who forage, but these particular foragers have this sort of initiation to where if you get in, you are treated with, you are given first dibs on things, or you are given nicer beds or things like that.
Yeah, because it's proven that you can provide not only for yourself but the community. So you're held in high regard.
Does this group have a
I'm
name?
glad we've established hazing early on.
What should they be called? Hold on. Who's a good forager? I want not squirrels. Magpies? Magpies are foragers, right?
Ooh, the
They're
magpies.
collectors.
Collectors? Magpies, I feel would be fun. I like birds.
Or chipmunks?
I like birds.
I-
Oh, maybe
The
the
an-
crows. Let's
Like
just call them the
birds?
crows.
I never would have
No,
guessed.
right?
The crows?
Oh, let's just call them the crows. Make it
Okay.
a little
That has an
ominous.
interesting
Fun.
macabre bent to it.
No one has ever heard of Edgar Allan or Poe in this world, so they can't say
the three genders, Edgar Allan and Poe.
There are only
Would you like?
three genders, and all of them married their cousin.
Would you like to put something onto the map to represent the crows as a faction of sorts?
I'm gonna make like a little tiny icon of like a little.
It might be
Jon
like
Snow.
their mark.
I will zoom in.
Okay,
how to-
so I am digging this.
Does that even look like a crow? No. It wasn't crow.
Jon Snow Crow.
Shit.
It's just the quiet little shit.
I want to hold a discussion. It's to approach Trader's Castle, see what in it.
Okay, so you have to give us, are you going to start this with a statement or a question?
So I'm going to say that I want to set up a scene about this. So that's because I want to relate it back to my crows. I'm very fond of them. One of the crow individuals, one of the new initiates, had gone north to find something, and they had found remnants of the trader's symbols flying about. Like, you know how like bannermen would have like cloths and stuff, and they decided to bring that back to show that like something in the castle is getting spread out, and maybe that individual was offering the thought to the larger group, but also to the crows themselves, that we need to start investigating north. What is there to salvage, or what is there to salvage that could potentially help us? Something is spreading it around.
I think for as much danger might be in the trader's castle, it is just legend. We can have so many building materials if we start to tear it down.
Yeah.
Have all of you forgotten the destruction of the Lich King? We thought that was just legend too.
Alright.
And then I think that it would be the remaining warriors who would posit, probably not very many of them, that our numbers are so few, and to even put ourselves in a position where there is potential for danger basically dooms the rest of us.
Alright, so was that a question that you started with, Tiff, or a statement?
Want to say it was a statement, if I remember my wording right. We should go explore, like try to salvage what's left of the Trader's Castle. I'm going to end it on the point that There is so few of us, but to just scrape by means that we're not surviving, we're just hiding.
Okay.
Needs to go farther.
All
I'll
right.
end it on that.
Damn, that's good. Shit.
That is very good.
Very compelling.
Okay. So it is now my turn.
Your computer did not like that. It is now my turn.
So everybody currently sleeps in this barracks, like town hall, literally just as many beds as they can shove in there. It's all cots. It's all just bare bones as fuck.
Tiffany, you're adorable. I'm sorry.
My back was starting to hurt. I'm going to lie in my stomach.
And mostly the people who are unhappy with this are the same groups of people who are trying to expand things by going up to the trader's castle and trying to salvage from there, or trying to, establish food preparation. The ones who are unhappy with how things are the ones who are seeing this as a permanent home, not as a stopgap measure.
Mhm.
And it's because, again, they are of the mind that going home means telling others that there's no one left.
That's sad.
So they would rather just start anew with people who have had a shared experience.
Oh, we're starting to make lines within our community.
Quite literally trauma bonding.
Yep. The food prep facility has finished. What does this look like? What sort of things are they able to do? And because you are doing this, Lee, pick some sort of food stuff, something that we can have in abundance. And
Cool.
we'll add it to our abundance list.
So there will be a silo for storing grain. There will be and then there will be like a facility which is for smoking and canning and storing underground. Like basically it's got an area up top where you can smoke in the open air, and then there's an area in the bottom where you can store canned substances. And I think that if we had an abundance of anything, it would be smoked meats because there's animals everywhere and it's easy to salt and store meat.
Okay. I can dig
Yes?
that. I can definitely appreciate that. All right, there is 1 week left on the studying crystals.
Oh, we were doing that?
Yeah,
know that.
I had that project.
Oh, cool.
Very interested to see how this is going to round out the spring.
And I am also going to start another project. The crows actually head this project up because they are of the mind that, we need to use every resource we possibly can to make this place. And I think the crows are starting to hear the murmurs of those people who want this to be their permanent home. And maybe they're of the mind that, like, okay, well, we find things, and we're not necessarily going to build houses or whatnot, but we can find and get something that can do this. So they can see this giant pill bug mechanism on the horizon. Like, it's pretty visible from everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's big.
So they are going to get to it, figure out a way to get it moving, and bring it back and use it as kind of the, like, base of this permanent settlement.
Okay.
Give me a
should
second.
bring-
I'm calculating how long it would take to get there.
Yeah, that's far, isn't it? But there's the river as well.
And there's also a maximum amount of time that we can assign to a project, unless we want to do it in stages.
What you got?
Well, what calculation did you figure out?
Well, if they are traveling, by themselves, on foot or on, like, horseback?
I'd say that they probably have some horses. Given that they
Okay.
are, like, elites in this community, they probably have at least a couple of horses between them.
They can get about 25 miles a day.
Hmm.
So they could get there within a couple of days. No, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish days.
So about a week to get there, given that they wouldn't necessarily have as many horses as people.
Let me unlock. I actually have this key here that is literally 100 miles. I can just whoop, make another. Yeah, that is. That's about 5 days. There. Couple of days to fix it.
I don't know if it's
2
going to take a
weeks?
couple of days, because we don't know what this thing is.
3 weeks.
It's true. They haven't figured out what it can do, so I want to say either 3 or 4 weeks, maybe.
I'm going to say 4 weeks.
That's fair. Because who knows how slow it moves? It might just move really fucking slow.
Good point.
If it moves. Well, it's a vehicle, so.
Yeah.
Meta, if
Alright,
it is.
so that is the end of my turn. A charismatic young girl
we
convinces
already
many
did
to
Knight of
help her
Hearts.
with an elaborate scheme. What is it? Who joins her endeavors? Start a project to reflect. Or a charismatic young girl tries to tempt many into sinful or dangerous activity. Why does she do this? How does the community respond?
How come it's got to be a charismatic young girl, huh?
Always a charismatic young girl. Oink. Have you seen Celine and her influence?
You know, we've kind of been waffling back and forth about this. I think she convinces a group of perhaps a couple of pro, maybe some old warriors, to go and investigate the traitor's homestead.
Ooh, yeah.
So we got a real Joan of Arc.
Okay.
That is going to be a project.
Yes, you have to start a project to reflect that.
A small party is going to go out to see what's going up at the creepy old castle.
So, how long is this project going to take?
Well, it's about 3 days to get there. I'd say 2 weeks. No, actually, I mean, if they're just going there and coming back, I'd say a week.
Alright. Sure. Alright, so now the projects tick down. And I have to check on this because you just started a project.
I don't think it includes mine.
Yes, if a project die was just put on the board a moment ago as a result of a card, don't adjust it this week. It's just getting underway.
Okay.
Okay, so the crystal studies have finished. So the crystals are basically solidified remnants of the magic that the Lich King used. Kind of think of it as like runoff from the amount of magic that was suffused through the earth.
So the land was suffused with so much magic, like above 9th tier level spell magic, that it just I got nothing to do with this and crystallized it. It's like, here you take it.
Yes, it is. It is largely volatile. They've collected as much as they can in order to use as, They figured that with the proper maintenance, via mages actively working with these crystals, they can siphon that magic and use it to power things. So they can use it as like a power source or electricity, essentially. Think like some Magitech, some very early Magitech stuff.
Yeet.
Cool.
So I'm going to change the charged crystals abundance to power.
Yeah, power abundant.
All right. So that finishes that project. The next step, Mike, you have to now hold a discussion, start a project, or
Oh, is that not my project I started?
Nope, that was started because of your card.
Doesn't
You now
count.
get another chance to start a project if you would like. And then the third one is discover something new.
Free
Do what I
project.
want. I would like to start. Since we're still in spring, and I feel like this is necessary, I would like to start active clearing of forest by the river, along with irrigation, to develop some functional farm.
Some functional what? Sorry?
Farmland. Sorry, I cut
Farmland.
myself off. Farmland.
Okay. How long do you think this is going to take to do?
It's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while to do it right.
So the maximum amount of time you can put onto a project, if you're doing the project as one straight through project, is 6 weeks. If you think it will take longer than 6 weeks, you can break it up into stages.
I'd say it'd take the whole 6 weeks.
Okay.
Probably be less time
Sorry.
if there weren't two parties that have left the settlement.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
fair.
just realized that the crows have probably been like spread thin.
Okay. So, Lee, it is now your turn. Ooh. This one could be real fun.
Ooh. What
There's
do you
another
ooh
community
about?
somewhere on the map. Where are they? What sets them apart from you? Or what belief or practice helps to unify your community?
Oh shit.
So I can make a goblin town if I wanted to. Troy's face.
Well, I guess there's Goblin Town.
No, I'm
You
not.
can, in fact.
I'm not going to introduce more.
We're all going to Goblin Town.
I'm not.
Oh.
I'm not going to introduce more problems.
Oh, my lad. Oh, my lad.
So you said how are they different, or how can we unite, basically?
Yeah, so you basically have either a new community, where are they, what sets them apart, or what belief or practice brings this community closer.
Goblin Town.
We worship goblins.
I can't tell what Tiffany is saying. I'm assuming that she's encouraging me for Goblin Town.
I am also encouraging you for Goblin Town.
But I really want to do Goblin Town, but I want to
You
help our
already
people.
helped our
I
people by
want it.
making a silo. You can have a Goblin Town. I think it would make the world richer.
That was the first thing that I asked, was if I could add a Goblin Town.
Yeah,
Exactly.
if that's what you want to do, that's entirely. This is your turn. You get to add to the world.
Could they be goblins who were also ousted from their territory by the Lich King, and that's what makes them alike, and they make like an unsteady alliance?
I like that.
Okay.
Where do they live?
See, Where do they live? Where do the goblins live? I think
That's a
I'm gonna
dangerous
make
act.
a little. Mm, mm, That's a very poorly drawn little goblin there.
Where on God's green earth are you doing this? Oh my god.
Maybe that's too far away.
Where is the goblin?
That is
What?
several days. That is maybe a whole week's travel.
So
I don't
maybe
even
the
s-
goblins were discovered on
Joe,
the way.
where did you put the goblin?
Maybe I put it in the top left, but I'm actually gonna put them like right here. So we're gonna say that they were
okay.
discovered. Nope, bad.
That's a penis.
It was this time not intentional. So we're gonna say that the goblins were discovered while the adventuring party was on their way to go to the trader's castle.
Ooh, so it
If they
was the
had not done
charismatic
that-
girls group
Yeah,
found Goblin Town.
it looks like Yoda. If they had not done that, they might have never discovered the sympathetic goblins. And the goblin will
Okay.
have a smiley face. Because they're nice goblins.
I dig it.
Ooh,
Sympathetic Goblin Town.
I like it. I like to think that the girl became friends. Goblin girl.
All right. So now the project clocks tick down. The farmlands have 5 weeks. The pillbug has 3 weeks. And the group that was investigating the trader's homestead has arrived and come back.
And they've brought
did
the
they
news of their
find?
new goblin friends.
They found that the trader was not home.
Also, it's this hard legend. Oh,
However, they did find a massive castle. Like with long hallways, side corridors, great vaulted ceilings, wonderful acoustics. And littered with bodies. Just skeletons, zombies, dead. Well, they weren't zombies because they were just
Ooh.
decomposing corpses, but just lots of bodies.
Don't like that.
So the miasma was actually just the literal smell of death.
Okay.
Gross.
Cheerful.
I'm going to add to that because we now have, we now know what the
An
miasma
abundance
is.
of bones.
No, you really would they have come back with that? Or
I've brought you a cup of bones.
A cup of bones.
would they have come back with anything, or would they have just brought back the knowledge of like, yep, castle's haunted?
Yep,
Should've
Castle's haunted.
brought-
No,
they should-
I think they found a strange arcane device within the bowels of the castle in the dungeons. They don't know what it does. It is broken. But they brought broken discharged crystal that was used to power it.
Okay, so would you like to draw
Yes, underneath
near the
it.
settlement now this thing that they brought back, whatever it might be?
Yeah, let me just kind of like keep it off in the woods, I'd say. Just for...
Yeah, that's not the sort of thing you want to just bring into the
Have
house.
around.
They couldn't ford it across
Yeah.
the river because it was big. So it's like
Oh.
I'm just really
Device.
enjoying the growing sense of dread.
It is wonderful.
Oh, this is good.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
Almost. It almost looks like the symbol of Xana from Code Lyoko.
Oh yeah.
It does.
It does actually, yeah, shit.
So I can start a discussion, a project, or discover something
Yes.
new. I'm going to discover something new this time.
Something new.
I think we would have discovered that in somewhere in the woods here, there would be some scary boars.
Pigs?
Pigs, like wild, but like extra wild. Like they should not be this wild. Boars. Extra dangerous and I'm trying to move the map.
Hold space,
Extra
my
cool.
dear. Or you can use the hand icon on the left.
Yeah, I think there's just gonna be a bunch of wild pigs that are super extra dangerous, and they're a good source of meat if you can fight them.
Okay, so I've added.
I just want to.
Go ahead.
I just want some pigs.
That's fair. I have added
We're just
feral
gonna-
pigs to the abundance list.
30 to 50 feral
And a-
hogs.
There we go. That's the pig territory.
Way down there.
Now, if we're going to just no, we're actually. I'm not going to say anything about that. Never mind. I said nothing.
Never mind.
What were you gonna say?
I was going to say, are these stone boars, and then tie it back into Beconville, but we're building something that
Maybe
is
they
separate.
are. Maybe they're not. We don't know. Where the fuck are we? I don't know.
Tiff, it is now your turn. A young boy starts digging in the ground and discovers something unexpected. What is it? Or, an old man confesses to past crimes and atrocities. What has he done?
Fuck, both are so good.
Both are an opportunity for drama, which Tiff is just.
See, on one hand, I kind of want to do the old man because I want the old man to be related to the traitor.
Oh, did you get the king?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, little boy, this isn't your story. We're going to the elders. And yeah, the old man isn't the traitor himself, but kin to the traitor and knew of the traitor's happenings.
And didn't stop it?
I'm gonna say that.
Maybe a past love.
I can't hear
Like
you,
you're
Mike. You
muted.
are muted.
Perhaps a past lover!
Perhaps a past lover.
Actually, that's really sad. It's like seeing their slow
Yeah,
descent
right? Like, this
into
is-
villainy.
Now they're just
Hello, Peter.
remnants of a past. I don't want that to be the ex-lover. Never mind. That's sad. I'm gonna make this the old man, the traitor's uncle. How about that? Nobleman uncle.
Maybe he's the one who taught him magic and then it went south. And he hid it that he was practicing dark magic because,
No.
he didn't want to be
like
held responsible.
you don't want to do that to your own kin.
Or
And
perhaps,
said it with a lich.
Yeah.
perhaps he believes that the traitor was trying to do something noble initially.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, we can speculate all we want about what the old man is trying to atone for. Regardless, that's the old man's problem. His crime is knowing of the traitor's plots and not stopping it.
All right.
Aiding and abetting.
And what will the community do?
He helped
That's not
him
for us to
with
discuss
betting.
right now. All right, so the clocks
Aiding
tick down.
and abetting. Sorry.
Aiding and abetting.
The clocks tick down, and now you can discover something, hold a discussion, or start a project.
What? I'm going to hold a discussion, and it is going to be what is going to be the fate of the old man.
One of the people of the Kirill dynasty, the Tritons, essentially. One of the Tritons steps forward, and it basically says that magic is neither good nor bad. It is simply a force of nature. What we must do is look forward, not back. Mike, your turn to have a point in this discussion.
You could have stopped all this. Exile.
All right, Lee.
Why only tell us this now? When there's nothing
You done about it?
where the punishment can only come on you.
Mm.
All right, and
I
then
think-
Tiff gets to finish it with a statement.
Statement that's left to the old man was you can't feel a sense of responsibility. That much is obvious. So find something to be responsible for. We're going to leave it at that. Let the old man decide what he needs to do.
Okay, so I have added a character to our roster, the mentor of the traitor.
Mentor of the traitor. Ooh. Tingly.
All right, so that now makes it my turn. So, the someone new who arrives is
Jeff Bezos.
no, God no.
Oh,
Elon Musk.
no.
It's just Elon
Oh,
Musk.
stop. We're just watching people. Already
So
established that.
Anish Kapoor.
stop this, both of you. The person who actually arrives is the first to prove the charismatic young girl's statement that there are in fact a group of goblins, as it is an emissary from the goblins, along with a small community of goblins coming to help gather and forage and hunt and things like that. They figured out a way to a good fighting style that combats these feral pigs.
Oh, cool.
It's just guns.
Oh, yeah, this is great.
This secret technique.
Goblins.
Goblins and guns, goblins and guns.
All right,
He's got
So-
cake.
the clocks tick down, and I get to discover something, start a project, or hold a discussion. I haven't discovered anything, really.
Discover something new.
This could be the start of something new. It feels so right to be here with you.
Oh. Now
And
looking
now-
in.
Okay, that's all we can sing. Otherwise,
We
Can't
can't.
sing
We can't
anymore.
afford this,
Disney will
guys.
come for
We
us.
can't afford the rights.
We're gonna get a fun cease and desist.
From the fucking mouse.
mouse.
So,
Mouse itself.
here is what is discovered. as these mages, and actually I'm going to move some stuff around to reflect some of the things. So the crystals, they got moved over into the area of the settlement because now that is where the crystals are in bulk. There are still more crystals, but like this is representing the crystals have been studied and we know what they are.
Yeah.
So it is one very foolhardy, perhaps a bit unhinged of a mage finds a way to grind down these crystals.
Oh.
It's trial and error. Mostly error.
Loses a couple fingers.
Yes, actually, specifically, I was about to say that when he finally presents his discovery, it is with a mostly stump hand.
Jesus Christ!
Is this guy just the mechanist from Avatar?
Yes, because he has essentially discovered that you can grind down these crystals and then use it as a form of explosive.
Powder.
It is
Yes.
It is guns.
We have guns in the world. Who needs magic?
What
That's
about
actually
magical
very
guns?
sad.
It's magic. It's magic
Still
gunpowder.
sad to me.
Maybe that could be an after effect that every time they use this gunpowder, there could be a chance for like wild magic to happen.
Oh,
Or
shit.
not every time, but
Wild magic guns are so funny. I want to play that so bad. That would be very fun.
Holy shit.
I'll just take a cut of the royalties, guys. When this explodes, the wild
Anytime you
magic
roll a 5 or
gunpowder.
lower, you gotta roll the wild magic table. Or maybe just
Yes.
a
Let's see
natural
what
one.
happens.
That is too many
Yeah.
mechanics to study. Mike, we'll talk about that later. Okay, so let's see. I don't think that changes any of the abundances or scarcities, but we now know that crystals can be gunpowder.
Can it be
Combustion.
huffed?
He is. Somebody asks him that, and his response is, "I wouldn't recommend it. I saw colors come out of my nose that should not come out of my nose." So that is my discovery. Mike, it is now your turn.
Prismatic canyon in which the crystals were not discovered, but where they appear to be most condensed. No. There are dark clouds that appear to be growing on the opposite side of the mountains far to the west.
The prismatic canyons or just in the mountain?
Beyond the mountain range. Dark clouds.
Ooh.
Okay, would you like to draw that to represent it?
Yeah. They don't pass the mountains, but they seem to be billowing higher and higher.
Ooh, nice
Good
cloud.
Very good cloud.
That is a very well done cloud.
Thank you.
He's been
I've
practicing.
been practicing art. And also stalking every single thing that Tiffany retweets that is art related on Twitter. Because that's giving me a great amount of tips.
Tips and tricks and fiddly whip.
Okay.
Okay.
So, the clocks tick down. The pill bug project has completed.
Oh, the pill buggers.
So, this
Okay,
thing
Carrie.
is absolutely massive as it crests the horizon leading to the settlement. And what they find when they, like, what the crows establish when they bring it back, and what this community soon discovers, is that this was some sort of transport for maybe infantry, maybe just like this was an army in a box, basically.
In a book.
So as a result, there is now a much larger bit of housing. Rather than now all having to live in these barracks, this pillbug could now house a good chunk of this settlement comfortably, rather than simply cots all squeezed in together.
I mean, if it's
Yeah,
25
nice.
miles long, I would hope so.
It can act not only as it's turned into the residential district. Some very basic walls are established to space these things out. And the basic needs of homes are started to put together into these little, like, basically it turns into an apartment complex.
Nice.
It would also probably be a really quick way to make a getaway if the Lich were to come back
Yeah.
without entirely like getting rid of everyone's homes and everyone having to start over. So it kind of makes a good, like, in between of settling in and being ready to keep moving.
Yeah, I do like that. And but they do determine that it takes a lot of power to run this thing. It was like the last little bit of it is what got it here.
So they gotta power it somehow.
So finding an alternate fuel source.
Yes, so it will not move easily, but when it does, it will be a fortress on little tiny spindly legs.
I misspoke, by the way. You established earlier that it's the size of a small city, not necessarily 25 miles long. That's just how big the symbol we have on the map is.
Yes, I'm thinking that it's actually going to be like a sizable apartment complex, you know, multi-storied.
I think that's more reasonable.
It's
So,
a fucking
Tiff,
walking
if you
aircraft carrier.
Tiff, since you are the owner of that pillbug drawing on our map, would you
Move it.
would you kindly shrink it a little bit if you can? Maybe to represent the
Move
the
it
change
towards the
in-
settlement as well.
Yes, if you want to put it either. I don't think they would put it into the forest. I think they would get to the edge of the forest and stop, because that would destroy so much of their resources. Mike, you now get to start a project, hold a discussion, or discover something.
I think as they came back, they discovered an interesting set of tracks from perhaps the pillbug. But the big thing they noticed was these weird tracks going up into the mountain
Huh.
Ooh.
from the pillbug. What they discovered.
So this pillbug came from the mountains and looks like maybe created these foothills by simply moving around a bunch. So that is the end of spring. So, as it's becoming very clear that this is not simply a stopgap survival, okay, let's shore up our resources and then start walking back. This is becoming its own thing. There is a contingency of people who now want this to become they want this to be their home because for them this is a fresh start. This is a way of this is a way of retaining these. They've bonded over the trauma, as we've said, and now this is them trying to retain these bonds rather than simply going, oh yeah, we've gotten very close over the last 3 months. Now let's just go fuck off home.
Mm.
And so, as part of that, they're like, okay, this place needs a name. We can't just go on calling it the settlement if we're going to call this home. Especially if we discover people milling about or we go and find our old family, we need to tell them where we are. And one intrepid storyteller comes up with a name. And it's reflecting simply how treacherous this whole place is by just how much shit is potentially going to go bad very, very quickly. And how that's so much like right on their front step.
It's almost like no, I'm not gonna say it.
No,
I'll let you say it.
So they call it, and actually I'm going to specifically spelled like Doom in Door.
The little town
Hello,
of
Peter.
Doomendor. Straddled upon Avon, as it were.
And it may deteriorate over time and change spelling as these things tend to.
Doomendor.
Interesting.
I'm proud of that one.
I'm proud.
I'm proud, and I'm also mad.
Because people
Good.
would do that.
People would do that.
Okay, so we can't add that to the map because we cannot use words, but this place now exists as Doom Indoor.
So that is going to be it for this episode. Thank you all so much for being here. If you are listening to this on iTunes or Spotify, please be sure to leave us a review because it super duper helps us out. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't know why I'm wearing these. And if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe, leave a comment about your favorite part and your predictions for the next episode. We hope you enjoyed the quiet year. We have a couple more episodes coming out of this. Please let us know if you want to see more of this. This is actually a bit of a world-building exercise for the Shola campaign setting, which Troy has been working very, very hard on, and I'm very privileged to have helped him flesh it out along with some of his home games that he's working things out. Please go check out our Patreon at patreon.com/dicey-decisions. There's cool stuff, fun bonuses, helps us keep the lights on. I will actually post things there if we get people on the Patreon. And I have pages and pages of lore, magic items, art, just things, maps. I've actually written a couple of adventures that I haven't really fully had a chance to publish yet, so that might be a place where you can get a sneak peek at that. But yeah, thank you all so much for being here. Please be safe, share some love, and tell a story. Good night.